So when people call in, they say I need to replace my water heater. The first question we ask is, what size water heater do you have? And people will tell us, some crazy numbers. I have a 46-gallon water heater. Doesn't sound crazy, but it is, because a 46-gallon water heater doesn't exist. Heaters are usually in multiples of 5 or 10. So, for example, this is a 30-gallon water heater. Customer calls in and he says, I have a 46-gallon water heater. First question we ask is, where'd you get that information from? From the yellow piece of paper? Yes. So this is an energy guide, and just an energy guide. The 46 is the first hour rating. It tells you how many gallons you get the first hour. So you have 30 waiting for you. Plus, if you empty this 30, you'll get another 16 before you completely run out of hot water. So the first hour, you're going to get 46 gallons of hot water out of this heater. So it's not a 46-gallon water heater, it's a 30-gallon water heater. So now, with that said, that tells us what size the water heater is. Now we can figure out the next step, what size, how the installation is, what part of the house it is, and we can calculate what you need for installation. But that's how you size a water heater. Another very important thing, the water heater, all water heaters have a label on it. In this case, it's down here. This tells you all the information you need: serial number, model number, the information, all the voltage, the phase, the kilowatts, all the information on the heater. So, for example, this heater, the serial number on Rheem water heaters, the serial numbers, the first 2 digits is the week the heater was made. The second 2 digits is the year the heater was made. So if you have a really, really old heater, and I'm talking about over 15 years old, it's going to be, it used to be month and year was what Rheem used to use. Now it's week and year that the heater was made. But that tells you how old your water heater is. So if you're ever curious about how old is how old is my water heater? Does it need to be replaced? Well, just look at your serial number. On most heaters, or on all brands of heaters, the first 4 digits will give you the answer. Sometimes it's going to be, for example, A.O. Smith, I believe, uses letters and year. So it might be an A 2019. Well, that heater was made January of 2019. So depending on what the serial number tells you, the first 4 digits will always tell you when the heater was made. Most water heaters last around 12 years. So if your heater is around 12 years old, then it might be something to keep an eye on. Make sure there's no water on the floor. Like we said before, if there's no water on the floor, you're fine. You don't need to replace it. But when you see water on the floor, you have to replace it. Another thing that this tells you the U.S. capacity, the gallons. This tells you right here, 30-gallon water heater. It also tells you the voltage. If it's 240 volt, 208 volt, 120 volt, 480, or residential is not going to be 480, but it'll tell you the voltage. And it also tells you the wattage, 4,500 watts. For example, you have this water heater which is 4,500 watts, and you're running out of hot water. Well, then if you have a 30 amp breaker, maybe we upgrade it to a 6,000 watt element for you. It's something that can be done. So if you have a 65-gallon water heater and we can't get that anymore, as you guys well know, we got to go to light duty commercials. Well, instead of going to a light duty commercial, we go to a 55-gallon. If you have a 30 amp breaker with 6,000 watt elements, that'll give us the equivalent of about very close to a 65-gallon water heater. If I give you 6,000 watt elements as opposed to 4,500 watt elements, I will heat the water a lot faster. So as you're using the hot water, the elements will heat it up a lot faster for you, and it'll give you more hot water. The other option you have, which is not the safest thing, especially if you have little kids in the house, I definitely do not recommend this, but you can always raise the temperature and have people use more cold and less hot when they're taking a shower, so that you're not pulling as much hot water out of the heater. Because as we well know, as you pull hot water out, cold water comes in. So the water inside the heater could be 140 degrees. But if you pull out 10 gallons and bring in 10 gallons of 80-degree water, well, that 140 degrees ain't there anymore. It's going to drop it significantly because the 10 gallons you just brought in is a lot lower in temperature. But again, that's not something to do when you have little kids in the house or anybody that you think might not be able to distinguish the difference between hot and cold. You've got to be careful with that. That is something that you could burn somebody severely if you set this to 140 and your child or whoever doesn't realize that the water is extremely hot and jumps in. could get really, really badly burned.